Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I want to make a video about the author Dr. Joan Sarno, who I keep promoting his books and talking about the term that he coined, tension myositis syndrome, and really how his work has changed my life so much so that I have converted completely to more a holistic lifestyle and to really believing that our minds are extremely powerful and can help us heal from even the worst things. And so this is John Sarno. I'm just gonna share a picture of him. Sarno was born on June 23rd, 1923 in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. I'm looking down because I just, it's hard to remember all of this exact information. But his dad was a printing press worker and his mom was a homemaker. And he went to Kalamazoo College in Michigan, and he actually he joined the army in 1943 and assisted with field hospitals in Europe during World War II. He received his medical degree from Columbia University in 1950, and then worked in a family practice in New York. He began a residency in pediatric medicine and another residency at the Institute of Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation at New York University in the 1960s. And he joined New York University's Rusk Institute for Rehabilitation Medicine in 1965 and practiced there until his retirement in 2012. It says for 10 years he directed the outpatient department, but was not reappointed after he started getting really into the mind-body concepts and more of the tension myositis syndrome type assertions. It says Sarno was 5'3" tall and wore a Brooks Brothers shirt and tie under his lab coat. He wrote patients' letters in elegant cursive with his treasured Mont Blanc fountain pen. He frequented the ballet and the Philharmonic and would often hum along to the opera tunes he played on his office radio. Sarno's first marriage was to Penny Pat, and that marriage ended in 1966. He married Martha Lamarck, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, who was the former director of speech pathology at the Rusk Institute in 1967. And she is who he stayed with until he passed away. So, they had a daughter together, but he is also survived by 3 children from his first marriage. And he has a brother, at the time of this article, 4 grandchildren and 1 great-grandson. It looks like the last update to his article was 2017. So while Sarno was working as a doctor and had a bunch of patients, he was also struggling himself with all kinds of symptoms like stomach upset and headaches, and also I read an article where he was having trouble with sleeping and stress because he felt like he had so many patients that had similar symptoms that were unexplained that he felt like he couldn't help them, and also he felt like he couldn't cure himself. And so he started to turn to more like therapeutic things for the psyche. And I guess he himself started seeking like therapy, and then in turn started to kind of connect that stress in one's life was a huge factor, like in common denominator with all of his patients. And so in his sessions with his patients, he started asking what was going on with like the stress in their lives, like what kind of pressures were they feeling. Sarno was really tortured by the fact that his work was so in contrast with mainstream medicine. So that meant that that his work would not be easily recognized or commended, and also his work peers were starting to like separate themselves from him, and he said this caused him great stress. And I guess in an interview he said, I wrote the or have this here. He said, I can't stand not being recognized, and that was in a 1994 interview, and just basically implying how much it tortured him. And I guess this is one of the main reasons why he wrote his books instead of like trying to publish like medical journals, like academic papers and things like that. So he turned to writing his own books on the matter, and they quickly became very popular with his patients, and there was kind of like this slowly growing following that he was gaining, and to this day it's like ginormous, but back then I'm sure it was kind of like slowly moving. Sarno's first book was in 1984, and the book was called Mind Over Back Pain. And his second book was in 1991 called Healing Back Pain, The Mind-Body Connection. His third book was The Mind-Body Prescription, Healing the Body, Healing the Pain, which is my favorite. And that was written in 1998, or published, in 1998. And then his most recent book is called The Divided Mind, which was published in 2006. Sarno's books have, even though they're controversial, there's been over 1 million copies sold. Sarno passed away in 2017 at the age of 93, and he was in Connecticut when that happened. The cause of death was cardiac failure. I just want to conclude by saying that I think that there should be more exposure to Dr. John Sarno out there, and I think it's sad that there's not. I think that like overall, because there's not enough exposure, he's looked at as just this random doctor who had like ideas about how to help chronic pain, but in reality I think he was like such a significant pioneer with helping chronic pain, so much so that he like went against like everything like that he was around. Like all of his peers disagreed with him, and he didn't receive that much credit, and it was so important to him that he didn't even need the credit. He knew that it was that important to share with the world. I'm going to put the links to Sarno's books in my video description, and they are affiliate links. So if you buy a book through the link, then I would get a small commission at no cost to you. And I just believe so strongly in these books, and I hope that talking about Sarno's life kind of shows like why he is so important and shows why he is such a pioneer with the chronic pain world. And